You saw how huge that Week 12 win over Indianapolis was. And you know it wasn't just another W on the board, it was a reset button. Right now, the AFC West has the Broncos on top, the Chargers close behind, and the Chiefs sitting in a spot where the more realistic path to January is the wild card, not the division. After that, Colts victory, your playoff odds jumped. And that matters. If you're still a believer, hit the like button right now. It's a small thing that helps this channel reach 6,000 subscribers and keeps this kind of breakdown coming. Here's the math in plain terms. Come out of Week 13 with a win at Dallas, and the analytics people have you materially closer to the postseason. Single-game swings on projection models aren't poetic. They're real. The Times, ESPN, and Next Gen stats all showed noticeable movement after Indy. And beating Dallas on Thanksgiving would be the kind of signature result that turns a maybe into a we're trending the right way. But let's not get carried away. Even with the win, you'll still be in a competitive wildcard scramble because the AFC is crowded. That's why the stretch from Week 13 through Week 17 matters so much. You've got Texans, Titans, Raiders, and then big tests against Vegas and Denver toward the end. Win this week, and you don't just get a bump in the odds. You get breathing room for those must-win divisional and conference battles that decide tiebreakers later. Lose, and it's still not over. Projections only. Pull you back a bit, but they remind you how thin the margin for error is. So here's what I want from you in the comments. Vote in the quick poll. Do you think the Chiefs make the playoffs this year? Yes or no? And tell me why in one sentence. Also, drop your personal score prediction for Dallas. I'll read the best ones before kickoff. Remember, on this channel we're building momentum together, so subscribe to help hit that 6,000 subscriber goal. And like the video if you want more game day, keys, and last-minute injury updates. Up next, I'll lay out exactly why beating Dallas this Thursday would do more than help the standings. It would change the narrative for the rest of the season, and I'll show you the tactical ways the Chiefs can make that happen. All right, let's dig into why this Cowboys game matters for more than just a W on the schedule. First, the timing. Thanksgiving is a national stage, with millions watching and narrative momentum amplified by the spotlight. A win on that platform does two things at once. It gives you the standings boost you need, and it changes how everyone talks about your season. Suddenly, you aren't the team that squeaked by or missed expectations. You're the team that beat a top opponent on the road at a moment when headlines stick. That helps in subtle ways. It steadies the locker room. It forces opposing play callers to game plan differently. And it can influence how neutral voters and analysts view tiebreaker scenarios later. Second, the matchup consequences matter beyond 1 week. Head-to-head results, conference records, and common opponent performances end up deciding who gets the wild card spots when records are identical. So beating a high-profile team like Dallas can be a 2-for-1 win. The 3 points in the standings, plus a tiebreaker advantage that could save you later. Third, think about momentum and psychology. If you win this week, the team rides into a stretch of winnable games with confidence. Quarterbacks play faster, receivers attack routes, and defenses believe in their schemes. If you don't, the narrative shifts. Doubt creeps in, media questions grow louder, and the margin for error shrinks. Fourth, schematically, this is a game about matchups and discipline. You need a balanced attack that can shorten drives when necessary, and you need the defense to play complementary football. Win the field position battles, avoid getting beat deep on busted coverages, and force turnovers or 3-and-outs in key moments. Special teams matter more than people think on holiday games too. A flipped kickoff, a blocked punt, or a missed kick changes momentum instantly. Finally, coaches matter. Game management, fourth down aggressiveness, and how quickly adjustments are made at halftime will tilt a close game. That's why preparation and focus this week are non-negotiable. Now, it's your turn. If the Chiefs win at Dallas, what single thing changes most for the rest of the season? Drop one word in the E. Comments? Momentum. Tiebreaker. Confidence. Whatever you think. And explain in one sentence if you want. And while you're down there, do the small but huge favor. Like the video to help this channel hit 6,000 subscribers, and subscribe so you don't miss the pregame keys and last-minute injury updates. All right, let's get tactical and talk about the exact things the Chiefs need to do to win this one. Offensively, it starts with protecting Patrick Mahomes and controlling the clock. If the offensive line can give Mahomes clean pockets for even a couple seconds more than usual, he'll make Dallas pay downfield, but you also need smart game management. Mix in timely runs to keep the Cowboys' pass rush honest, and use short, high-percentage throws to sustain drives and chew clock. Don't force deep shots early. Use Kelsey early in the chain to move the sticks and create play-action chances later. And get Hollywood and Rashi involved in rhythm routes to keep Dallas from keying entirely on one target. On defense, this is about discipline and leverage. Limit explosive plays by keeping your safeties from getting caught too far out of position. Win the linebacker matchups in the middle to take away the underneath throws and rush in waves. You don't have to sack the QB every play, but consistent pressure that forces quicker, off-platform throws will create turnover opportunities. Special teams are an underrated key here. Field position will decide whether this turns into a shootout or a low-scoring chess match, so avoid giving up big returns and make sure the kicker and long snapper are clean. A holiday game swung by a single special teams play is not uncommon. Hidden X factors matter too. Look for a tight end or an interior running game that can change the tempo, or a reserve defender who wins one-on-one matchups and flips momentum. Coaching adjustments at halftime could also be decisive, so whoever makes the better second half fixes wins the chess match. Turnover margin is non-negotiable. Win the turnover battle, and you massively increase the probability of winning. Finally, discipline and penalties. Don't gift Dallas free yards or extend their drives with avoidable infractions. Now, I want to hear from you. Quick poll. Who's the X factor in this game? Mahomes, Kelsey, or the defense? Vote in the comments and tell me why in one short sentence. And don't forget the little but giant favor: like this video and subscribe to help push us toward 6,000 subscribers so we can keep bringing these previews, in-game threads, and post-game breakdowns to you. This one comes down to a handful of head-to-head battles and how those battles trend in the second half. So let's walk through the matchups that decide the winner, and then I'll give you my final score prediction. First, Mahomes versus Dallas's pass rush and coverage schemes. If the Chiefs' offensive line can hold up enough to give Mahomes a rhythm early, you get the quick timing throws to Kelsey and the slot work that will neutralize Dallas's pressure packages. If not, this game becomes a scramble that favors the defense. Expect Mahomes to target Kelsey early over the middle to move the chains, then use play action to free up the outside receivers. That sequence wins this matchup. Second, Kelsey versus the linebackers' coverage. If Kelsey is allowed to run mismatches underneath, you'll see third and short conversions and extended drives that bleed the clock. Shutting Kelsey down forces Mahomes to rely on tempo-heavy shots to the perimeter and increases the chance of turnovers. Third, The wide receiver battles, Hollywood and Rashi against Dallas's secondary, hinge on contested catches and release techniques at the line. If the Chiefs win the contested catch battles and create separation on intermediate routes, they'll control the middle third and open up splash plays. Fourth, the trenches. Chiefs' interior defensive line pressure and how they win against Dallas's run game will determine field position and third down success. If the Chiefs can generate consistent penetration without relying on risky blitzes, they'll force predictable snaps and allow the secondary to play sound. Fifth, special teams and coaching decisions. Holiday games magnify every blocked kick, long return, and fourth down call. Winning the field position battle is as valuable as a touchdown late in the game. How Andy Reid and the Cowboys coach manage 2-minute drills, clock, and fourth down, aggressiveness will be a micro-chess match. My game script prediction: the Chiefs control the pace early, convert 2 or 3 long third downs thanks to Kelsey, and short, precise passing. The defense bends but doesn't break, and special teams flip one possession with a big return or a Dallas penalty. Final score prediction: Chiefs 27, Cowboys 24. A late field goal game with a crucial defensive stop in the last 2 minutes. Now your turn. Drop your final score prediction in the comments. And explain in one sentence why you picked that number. All right, here are your rapid-fire takeaways and the checklist you'll want to watch on game day so you don't miss the things that actually decide this one. First, the injury report. Check the official pre-game injury update and line statuses. Who's active on the offensive line? Whether any starting DBs are limited, and the status of your top special teams pieces. Those items change game scripts more than most highlight plays. Second, early game indicators. If the Chiefs win the first 3 to 4 drives of the game and convert a third down or 2, that's your tell that the offense has rhythm. If Dallas flips a special teams return or scores on their opening drive, brace for a different plan where the Chiefs will need to play catch-up. Third, watch third down efficiency and red zone execution. Which side wins the short yardage battles will determine whether this is a field goal game or a shootout. Fourth, halftime adjustments. Who made the better fixes? If the Chiefs come out of the locker room with a noticeable schematic change, different personnel packages, tempo, or a shift in how they attack the Cowboys' tendency, that's the coach who's winning the chess match. Fifth, turnover margin and penalties. The team that protects the ball and stays out of penalty trouble wins close games more often than not. Sixth, special teams moments. Even a single long return or a blocked kick swings late win probabilities more than any single offensive drive. How you follow. I'll post pre-game injury updates and final keys right before kickoff, and the channel will have the immediate post-game breakdown and top 5 moments you need to see. Engagement. After reading this, pick one, Chiefs or Cowboys, and drop your pick in the comments with a one-line reason. That's your last vote before kickoff, and I'll feature the best takes in the reaction video. As always, do the small but huge favor. Like this video to help us hit $6,000 subscribers and subscribe so you don't miss the pregame, the live reaction, and the post-game breakdown. Final sign-off: stay locked with Total Chiefs News. Hail Chiefs!